Hey there, and welcome back to another video with the Yamaha R1. As you saw in the title, we're going to be talking about the top 5 things that I like about this bike. These are in no particular order. I just have a little list here that I would like to share, and just reasons as to why this is one of my favorite bikes. These are all just as important to me, and I guess what I look for in a motorcycle. So, seems like we're just about warmed up here, so let's just get on with the ride as we talk about these things. Let's go right behind this Cadillac right here. Damn, it's nice to be back out in the sun. The first thing on my list for today is going to be the looks of the bike. What is the very first thing you notice about a motorcycle, a car, or really anything? The first thing is the looks. And if you don't like the looks, then none of it matters. The rest is just completely negated. Because if you don't like the looks, you don't like it at all. You're not going to want to be on it. You're not going to want to ride it. You're not going to want to take it out. You're not going to enjoy it truly. As good as a riding experience, as good as or anything in general, if you don't like the looks, then you're not going to enjoy your bike. So I just think that this bike has very, very classy looks. It's sleek, it's sporty. It was right at that era, one of the first ones to really shape and give form to what bikes would become, and leading right into the 2000s, coming out in 1998. Just the shape of the bike, the fairings with that Delta Box 2 frame. Beautiful bike overall. I love the red and white colorway. It's one of my favorites. The blue one, of course, classic. Also a very nice bike. But yeah, it's just the way that the bike looks to me really stands out. Right, the number 2 thing on my list, the ease of ride. I feel like this bike isn't very heavy at all. Once I'm on it, I could just swing it around. It feels pretty tossable. It's nice. I like how smooth the throttle is. It's just, again, it's just a cable from here down into the throttle bodies, into the ITBs, and I like how it feels. Wherever I put it, I know it's gonna be there. Like, it does exactly what I asked from it, which is just a huge plus. It's also pretty easy to rev match when you're braking and downshifting. It's pretty easy to just pop the throttle down and put it into the lower gear. I feel like the riding position isn't insanely harsh on your body. It's comfortable. I could sit on here for a couple hours on end, and even though it is pretty comfortable, it's still a sport position. My legs are pretty tucked up. I'm pretty lean forward. I could tuck in like this and I'll be fine, and then the windshield covers me. All that is great, and I think that perfectly transitions us into number 3 on my list, and that is that this bike, being made in the 90s, it came out in 1998, it doesn't have the same technology as a modern bike, of course, which means that it really exposes riders and it really forces you to work on your skills personally. It's not like a new bike where you could just throw it into rain mode and then control it better. The braking, it does it for you, the shifts, and you know, all that. It is completely your skill, the skill of the rider, and that really shows who is a bad rider and who is a good rider. Also, with that comes that I feel a better connection with the motorcycle. There's not a bunch of electronic things in between me and the bike and whatever it responds to my controls. From my throttle to the engine, the only thing that's stopping me is a little cable. It's just direct, it's there. The brakes, again, it's me. With the shifting, it's all me. It's all the rider, it's all pure skill. And I think that forces you to improve, and you also improve faster. You always want to do it the most efficient way. You want to put in practice and make sure that translates into a real outcome. That is going to be the number 3 thing on my list. And on to the next thing on my list. So we are now at number 4. Number 4, I like that it's pretty easy to work on. The bike overall is pretty simple. I've swapped out the stator on this bike. I've done a full coolant hose kit swap, you know, all the hoses, oil changes, obviously coolant flush, things like that, filters. It's all relatively simple to get to. You know, I could do it myself, looking up some information, and just there on the ground with a couple of, you know, some basic tools, you're able to do most things on the bike. And that's what I like about it. And you save yourself money that way. You get to learn about your bike more, and you make sure that it's done correctly because you are doing it yourself. Thank you, Tesla. Oh, I wanted to cut all the way over there. Damn. And just having that simplicity is nice sometimes. You know, you don't want to take 2 hours to do an oil changer. I think I took about 2 hours to do the full coolant kit, and I did an oil change at the same time. It's your work, it's your hard hours and effort, and I think that it feels more rewarding at the end of the day when you do that. They're not gonna let me go. Oh yes, they did. This looks like a nice twisty road, maybe. We'll see. that is another excellent transition into number 5 on the list, and that is that the bike is overall pretty reliable. I haven't had any major issues with this bike. Always started most of the time. I did a stator job, but that's because when I bought it, it just needed it and it wasn't clearing the sale, you know, things like that. But overall, this bike hasn't given me any issues. It just starts, it works, it goes. And people say carburetor carburetors get stuck and whatever. I guess that just depends on the area, how often you ride your bikes, how you treat them. The carbs on this thing have been working perfect the whole time. They're synced, they're nice, they're pretty snappy. Like like just a little bit of throttle, they go. I love the sound of them. They sound really good. I think that how often or not a bike is working really dictates how much you like it, and of course it directly translates into how much you actually ride the thing. Because if it's the best riding bike and you can only ride it once a year, then how good is the bike? You know, you can't experience it if you're constantly repairing and putting work into it. Cool Corvette. It kind of goes under the same category, but I still wanted to add it, and that is that parts are relatively easy to find for this bike, and they're also relatively affordable, which is, you know, just another plus. If you're saving money on parts and then you're doing the work yourself on top of that, you notice that your maintenance is pretty low. And especially for things like this, which they are just a weekend toy, you take them out once every week, once every 2 weeks, and just to enjoy them, then you can relatively cheaply maintain a motorcycle. And that goes for most motorcycles, and then also some car projects, although cars tend to be more expensive in general just because it's so much more object, which is another reason why motorcycles are a great hobby and a great way to get into motorsports and things like that. It's also the cheapest way to go fast. That, you know, that's already known. And those are the top 5 things that I love about this R1. Let me know if you guys agree. Let me know if you guys have one, had one. I know that the other video we made on this thing, it did really well, and a lot of people were relating to it. They said that they had one, they want one, it's one of their dream bikes. And yeah, we were having a bunch of conversations in the comments. So let me know. Just put anything down there, throw a comment, and see what's up. I think that I'm gonna have more time to make videos, or a little bit more free time, so with that means more videos, of course. So if you enjoy this type of content, if you enjoy motorcycles and things of that nature, then I would really recommend subscribing. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And thank you very much. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. I hope that you enjoyed, and goodbye.